I'm going to show the only Ayakano that I know of in Utah. She's empty. This is her. Her name is Jolie Ayakano. This is her parents right here. Gordon. I'll send a obituary. The people in the office, they came down here and they showed me that she was buried right here. I want to show a pattern. It's the only pure Ayakano. There's two Ayakanas in St. George. There just happens to be a John next to her. But watch this. One of the very, 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 very few John Josephs that I know of right here. John Joseph right there. And you also have Joseph there. You have my initials, AMI. So I'm tied in. I don't believe that's coincidence. Now, watch what happens when you go right into the Ayakano. You hit this, then you hit this. Look, October 1951. Sometimes you walk for weeks before you get that. With an October 17th going diagonal and right into the Ayakano. So you get John Joseph Ayakano, October 1914. Kitty corner from the Ayakano is a Dennis Lee. Right there, which matches, if we're thinking John Joseph Ayakano, which matches that in several ways. But, and also my mom's birthday is right next to the Dennis, which makes sense if he's denoting a certain Dennis, certain individuals, etc. Again, sometimes you'll walk months before you get an October 1951. There's an October 9th pattern. There's an October 7th, which makes sense in this context and that. Watch what happens when we go through, and this is far stronger than a Dennis. We'll go through the Dennis from the October 11th, 1951. It hits the John Joseph. Let me just look at this real fast. There's the October 1914, and her parents have a November prophet, just take a note. There's an October 8th with an October 7th going diagonal. Let's see here. The Dennis. There's a Dorothy kitty corner. Well, actually, look, Dorothy and then Paul, which has an ordination, October ordination. And this goes through an ordination month and year of Benson, November 10th, 1985, into the October 1951. So the Paul goes right into the Ayakano, right here. So the October, that's stronger than a Dennis, goes through the ordination, which has a Joseph middle name, then through the Paul, October 17th, and right into the Iacano, which has a Dorothy. And the reason I believe the Paul's not coincidence is because the Dorothy, Joseph as a middle name, it's just the patterns fit too good here. And then the Paul's kitty corner from the Dennis. So look, the Dennis and the Paul, Dennis Paul, October 17th, goes right through that. Let's see here. Okay, here's another Paul. Let's see here. If we go up from the Iacano, there's another John. So the Iacano surrounded by two Johns. Here's a Hiram Smith, for reasons I can't share, I don't believe that's coincidence, in October 17th. And then look, a 1980 next to a November 7th pattern. So the 1980s close to a November 7th pattern. And then November 7th apostle month and year. Okay, here we go. Here, let's just look at this real fast. Okay. So look at this. Here's the closest November 7th to the Iacano. Now look, a baby. So the Lord this defies the odds. So the Lord is emphasizing a baby and a birth right here. Esther. Let's just follow that line. November 7th, 1980 baby. Okay, it hits the Hiram. It hits the Dennis. And then it hits another November 7th, which is next to November 7th, Apostle Scott's birth year, which has his 7 being stamped with an ordination. There's no way that's coincidence. The two closest November 7ths form a line through a 1980 baby. You do kind of have to go through the corner of the Dennis to get that. So, and then it hits right here. And that crisscrosses the Iacano line, which is right here. The 1980 baby is irregular, is in the middle. So that's not coincidence. Anyways, I can't make a video without people getting out.